Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to you, the good people of the tube. Hope you're well today, hope you're feeling grand when your world. Welcome to a close-up video of the awesomeness that is the Oswald Strat a year on. This guitar arrived in my possession on the 7th of February last year, and I have played it every day since, and I still can't believe it's mine. It's still beyond my belief, this guitar is, and I say I'm so grateful to Nick for building this guitar and for giving me this guitar. It's what I mean. When it comes down to gifts, you can't get more special. You really can't. So yeah, the Oswald John Strat, everybody. I'm going to show you around it today, up close and personal. Show you some of the wear. This guitar was finished in nitrocellulose finish, so I'll show you how that's kind of weathered over the year. Because I've used it for a lot of gigs. It has got some scars, and it has got some dints, and it's got some finish missing. And I've done a few things to it as well, just certain preferences that have changed since I got this guitar. But as I say, I'll talk about that a bit more when we get to it. But yeah, it has got some dints and dents, and I will tell you about them, and I will show you them up close. So without further ado, but like I say, I love this guitar so much, and this is one of those guitars that's going to be with me forever. It's like I have like 4 guitars really that are kind of like are my main go-to guitars, and the Oswald's one of them. It's just one of those guitars. Like I say, I have played it every day since I've got it, and I really have, and I think the wear will back that up. It's been played a lot. So yeah, let's get to the close-up. We'll start the headstock, work down to the body, and I'll show you kind of like a few things that I've changed since owning this guitar, and yeah, we'll go from there. Not many things, I'll tell you that. I haven't changed a lot. I haven't really had to change a lot on it. It's absolutely amazing, and everyone who's played it is just like, wow. So yeah. Let's get into it, shall we? And let's start the headstock, move down. Okay, so the headstock has weathered over the year really well. There's only one nick in the headstock, which I'll show you up close in a minute. Other than that, the headstock is quite pristine, actually, to be honest with you. The Oswald logo and the Oswald tree, they're kind of faded a little bit. Not horrendously, but they're not as bold as they were when I first got the guitar. They have faded out a bit, and again, the neck is finished in nitrocellulose lacquer as well. It hasn't started checking yet, apart from well, not horrendously. There's a few little checking lines on the low E string machine head, and I think there's a few. I think there's some tiny little ones from the G string machine head post. Other than that, the headstock's kind of weathered really well. I haven't had to touch the truss rod yet. I haven't had to do anything to the nut yet. I haven't done anything to this guitar really, apart from a few little things of preference that have changed over the year. But other than that, it's still as it came. So that's the headstock. Let me give you a close-up of this nick, and I'll tell you about it. And when I say nick, I mean no pun intended, Mr. Nick Oswald. Hello, Nick, if you're watching this. So yeah, this nick here on the bottom of the headstock round there, that happened at the end of last year. The last gig I did of 2017, I was just playing away in a little world of my own. I was doing this kind of like extended Jimi Hendrix-esque kind of solo, and I swung the guitar up, and I forgot the mic stand was that close, and I hit it into the mic stand, and that's what that didn't is. So that's a little bit of a story behind that knock there, that chip out the headstock. I don't know if you'll be able to pick up the checking lines, but let's. Yeah, you can kind of see them there. They're kind of spreading out from the base of the machine head post there. You can kind of see, and they're kind of uniform to every machine head. You can kind of see there's not so many on the D string, none really on the G string actually. There's one there coming off from the B, none on the high E. So yeah. And there's, cool little bits in the wood there, like it's just, I love this guitar. So yeah, that's the front of the headstock. Let's turn it. Okie dokie. So here's the back of a Oswald Strat headstock. As you can see, it's still got the handmade by Nick Oswald 2017 for Dave, which I thought was a really nice touch for Dave, because I just released my For John album. So very, very cool. I say the back of the headstock, there's no wear, there's no dints, there's no dents. These machine heads are absolutely brilliant. They're Cluson Deluxe machine heads, and I absolutely love them. Like I say, I've got a bit of an affinity for these old vintage style machine heads. There's just something extremely cool about them. I don't know, I just love them. But yeah, this just is just incredible to me. And it's under the lacquer as well, so it'll be there forever. So I'm really happy about that. I just love it to bits. So yeah, not much to show you on the back of the headstock. No damage, no wear, no nothing really. It's weathered the storm really well. Oh, hang on a sec. That's about it. There's like two little nicks there on the bottom of the headstock. There's like one there, and there's like this little weird blue paint. I don't know what that is, but yeah, that's about it really. And I say, handmade by Nick Oswald. Anyway, okay, so let's move on to the neck. Okay, so one thing I've got to mention that I did to the neck is I have took the finish off. As you can see, well, if I come back up to the headstock, you can kind of see the difference in colour. The neck is actually now a kind of like grey colour through playing it, through the sweat in my hands when I'm playing and whatnot. It's kind of picking it up. I suppose if I shadow it off, you can kind of see it better. And I basically just took the finish off because, well, it happened around the same time I did it to my white Strat, which was about, I don't know when. It was sometime after February. I think it was March, but I'm not 100% sure. But like I said, I had my yellow Strat at the time, and I took the finish all off the back. I took all the lacquer off the back of the neck and just sanded it smooth. And I was just like in love with that feel. And I said I did it to my white Strat, and I loved that. And I was like, I've got to do it to the Oswald Strat as well, because I was kind of getting a bit hung up on the nitrocellulose, and it was getting a bit the nitrocellulose gets after a while of getting your sweat in it, gets kind of like I can't think of the word. It kind of goes a bit kind of gluey, and it kind of, your hand really starts to stick to it. So I thought, well, I'll just get some sandpaper and I'll just take the finish off. And Nick coated this in such a thin layer of lacquer that it took like 2 seconds to get it down to the wood and just like to sand it smooth. So that's just, again, and that was just a personal preference that changed over the year last year. I say when I first got it, I wanted the neck lacquered, but I say, you know, preferences change, and it's really nice now. I say with no finish on the back of the neck, it is really, really nice. So yeah, I did that. And I say that's one of the only things I've done to this guitar since owning it. I've just stripped basically the lacquer off the back of the neck, and it's just a gorgeous piece of maple. And I say with the skunk stripes, really cool. You can see coming down into the neck joint there. You can see where the lacquer starts again. I got kind of got like a bit of a curve there. So yeah, let me try and show you the fix. Okay, so starting at the nut, you can kind of see the neck on this guitar isn't super thin at all. It's actually got quite a bit of depth to it, especially when you get down to the bottom end here. It gets really quite fat. It's a lot like the 62's neck in that way. My white Strat, like you've seen in the close-up, it's very kind of uniform all the way down. But the Oswald, it kind of fattens out the further you get down. Hopefully you can kind of see that. But I say it's such a comfy neck, this is. I mean, from the moment I took it out of the box when I first got it, it's just unreal. And I say I love the maple figuring you can see there in the neck. It's just stunning. Absolutely stunning. Master Nick, you do great work. So yeah, that's the neck. Let me show you the fretboard now. Okay, so not much to show really on the fretboard. I say the frets, considering I've played it every day, they haven't really pitted a great deal at all. They're really, really good frets. So I'm really happy about that. And I say there's not any kind of wear really on the neck yet, apart from up here. Let me show you quick, see if I can get... Okay, I actually can't pick it up, but which is a bit annoying. But around about here, it's starting to get finger wear. It's starting to go through the lacquer, and yeah, it's a shame it can't pick it up actually. But it's quite subtle. It's not like, you know, drastic yet. And also down the bottom end, where I strum sometimes, it's kind of like eating away at the lacquer. But other than that, the neck, the neck, the back, everything about this neck is just heavenly. Absolutely heavenly. I don't know if we can we get it? No. You can kind of see it just there. If you look really closely, if you're watching it in HD, it's starting to get, it's just my fingernails basically, like starting to wear through, and there's a few spots where it's starting to go through, but you know, it's only been a year. Give it time, give it time. Okay, so yeah, let me show you the wear down the bottom end of the neck. Okay, so hopefully you can kind of see this, like the top of the fretboard on the bottom end, right near the last fret, I've started to round it off, exactly the same kind of like thing as I've done with my my white Strat. My plectrum hits it. I strum very close to the neck pickup, so I tend to hit the neck quite a lot, and it rounds off this corner. You can kind of see it, kind of like, you can see where it kind of tails in from like the from this fret here. It starts, and it starts to kind of like, you know, tail into the wear there. And I don't know if you'll be able to see in the light, if I can kind of get it in position. Yeah, you can kind of see in the light I've started to scratch the finish away there. There we go. So you can see if there's like, you know, there's scratches in the lacquer there, and it's starting to wear it away. But I say it's starting to round off really, really cool actually there. It looks exactly the same as my white Strat. So oh yeah, and there's a few more scratches down here as well, if you can kind of see. Get my hand in the right place to shadow it. There we go. You can kind of see them as well. So yeah, starting to wear through the finish on the bottom of, you know, bottom of the neck there, and you're also getting kind of like imprints of the strings there as well. You can kind of see. So yeah, that's the fretboard. Let's move on to the body now. This is where the fun starts, because the body has taken a beating. Let's just say that. It's been, because I've played it, and it's been bumped and it's been bashed, and you know, not meant to. It's just all accidental stuff. I've not meant to kind of hit it or anything like that. It's just happened through gigging and just playing about. Okay, so let me show you. Okay, so here we go. This is where the wear starts to show itself. As you can see on the top, that's all plectrum wear. That's a whole year of plectrum wear. You got some more dints and dents. I'll get in closer in a sec. But look at the wood. Oh, I love this guitar because it's got this really distinctive V in the wood there. That's coming like, it kind of like comes this side of the tremolo and then kind of like shoots back into the tremolo. And it's one of those kind of real distinctive features of this guitar. Is that V. It's really cool. And so we've got some more wear down near the jack socket and around the bottom here. So let me get in really close and show you some of these dints and dents and talk about what they are. Okay, so all this is plectrum wear. This is where I strum, and it's really, it was about 2 or 3, it's been wearing away for a long time, and I put a picture up on my Instagram channel, my Instagram account, sorry, a while back of it starting to kind of like, it was almost kind of like going a satin kind of finish around this area, and I'll try and get that in the camera in a minute. But in about a couple of weeks ago, it really started to wear thin here and started to look like this kind of thing was going on. And then all of a sudden, one day, it just went through to the wood, and bits started kind of like, it just went through. And again, because I've played it for pretty much a year straight, it's seen some action, this guitar has, let's just say that for thing. So this is all plectrum wear. This is a year's worth of plectrum wear, and we're just, you know, it's just going through, just going straight through the nitrocellulose finish. And you can see it kind of almost, some of the lines, they follow the wood grain. Like you've got down this bottom end here, you've got these ones, they follow these lines of the wood grain, there they follow the wood grain, there they follow the wood grain. So it's really interesting to me, it's really, really cool. And I say, you can see all the dints and dents up here, like tiny little dints and dents. Because nitrocellulose finish is so soft, the slightest knock will dent it, and you've got another one up there, and a few more on the headstock there. Got a great one there, and that happened at a gig where we were playing Foxy Lady, and at the end of the song I did the Jimi Hendrix thing of sliding the guitar down the mic stand, but I was a bit on the vigorous side, you could say, and I put the guitar into the mic. I put the guitar into the mic stand a bit too heavy in it, and the clasp you used to turn the mic stand to tighten it up smacked it right there, and that's what that is. So that's the Foxy Lady dent, everybody. And you can see there's a scratch there as well from the mic stand from the exact same moment in time. Coming down to over here, got some more dints and dents. There's no arm wear showing yet, and there's a scratch up there you can kind of see. More wear, I'll say, and there's all these kind of like little scratches from putting it on a guitar stand and being put in cases over the year and putting gigs in here and there. That's lacquer checking. You can see the lacquer starting to check down this bottom end. That happened fairly quickly actually after I got the guitar. All this checking down the bottom end. More dints and dents. Not sure where these came from. Some of them look like me trying to put the jack socket in. Have we got any more around here? You can see more lacquer checking in there as well. I mean, if I can get it in the light, you can kind of see. It's fairly checked on this bottom section, like from there downwards, it's fairly checked up. And there's more scuffs around the bottom. I'll talk about the scratch plate in but a moment. You've got some more dints and dents around the lower bout of the guitar here, the leg cut out. A great dent there, that happened the other week. I was just playing around, and after I'd finished playing, that was there. I don't know what I did, but there it is. And another dent there on the cutout. So yeah, but I do love the plectrum wear, and I say that's after a year. It just makes me think what this guitar is going to look like after 10, 20 years of playing. It's very exciting. It's very exciting. Okay, so I'm going to move on to the scratch plate now, because this is something I changed. Because the original scratch plate it came with was Nick originally put a 3-ply scratch plate on it. Just, usual black, white, black scratch plate. But I really wanted to kind of change it out for a single ply. Because this guitar is based on John Frusciante's 55 Strat, I wanted the single ply scratch plate with I think 8 screws. So I asked Nick if that was okay, and he said yes. So I changed it over to this single ply scratch plate, as you can see. Yes, there we go. So yeah, you can kind of see it's very thin, very kind of like in the style of a 50s style Strat. And I really love these single ply scratch plates, especially with the two-tone sunburst. I think without the kind of the white, black, white scratch plate with that kind of outline, so to say, it looks really cool. And you can see more checking lines there as well coming out from underneath where the screw is. The guitar is actually really, under the scratch plate, it's really, really checked. It's like heavily checked under the scratch plate. But I say I'm not going to take it apart. I don't really like taking my guitars apart unless I really, unless something's gone wrong or I have to. I don't know if the camera's going to pick this up. Let me see. Sadly, the camera won't pick it up, but what's happening here is this corner of the scratch plate is actually going the same colour as the burst. So that colour there is the exact same... kind of. Hang on a minute. I don't know, you can't really see it, but the lacquer seems to be seeping into the scratch plate here, and it's discolouring it off to the same colour as the burst is. And you can see... I say that plectrum wear now really up close. It's just scratched right into the surface of the guitar. And I'll try and show you the depth, the width of it as well, and show you that in a sec. But I say this single ply scratch plate, I absolutely love it to bits. I still have the original one upstairs, and it's not going to go on any other guitar. It's going to stay labelled the Oswald Strat original scratch plate, but I don't want to put it on another guitar. It's this guitar scratch plate, original scratch plate, so it stays out the way for the time being. Pickups are still Seymour Duncan SSL 1s, although I have got rid of the Seymour Duncan branding. I don't really like writing on pickups. There's just something about it I just don't really like, so I got rid of the branding, and I just basically took the covers off at one point when I was doing restringing it, and just sanded them down. And they're kind of like a matte finish now. They're kind of a satiny kind of finish. I don't know if you'll be able to see it. Let's see if we can try and get. Hopefully you can kind of see. They're not as shiny as the scratch plate. And the neck pickup actually has loads of plectrum scratches on it, but I'm not. You can kind of see them there. So with my plectrum, I've actually caught the neck pickup as well as the finish there. So and that's how I have my pickup set up on here. I haven't really sunk on the bass side because I found the Seymour Duncan SSL1s to be really bass heavy. So I've really sunk the bass side and really cranked up the treble side. That's the neck pickup, that's the middle pickup, and that's the bridge pickup. I have the bridge pickup a bit higher up on that side, but yeah. So what can we say? Oh yeah, let's go to the tremolo. Terrible camera work there, Dave. Okay, so the tremolo is absolutely awesome. It's very stable. There's my hand. Hello, everybody. I love this tremolo system. I'll show you the back in a minute, but it's really nice tremolo system. It's kind of got the vintage bent steel saddles, which I really love as well. Like I say, Seymour Duncan SSL1s. The volume knob is starting to lose its paint now. The kind of like the numbers. The gold is starting to go green, and it's also starting to fall out. Let me see if I can get a bit closer and show you. Okay, so hopefully you can kind of see that, like, the 1, 2, 3. They're not really gold anymore. If I go down to the tone, you can kind of see that I don't really use the tones a great deal. I use them every now and again, but you can kind of still see they're still in really good kind of like order, so to say. But like I say, the volume control I use tons, so it gets a workout, and as a result, the gold lettering goes green, it oxidizes, and eventually just kind of falls out, and it's starting to get a little bit of dirt around the grip bits. Still got a three-way selector in. I'm not a big fan of five-way selectors. I definitely prefer the three-way selectors. I don't use position 2 and 4 at all, so I just don't see the point in me having a five-way. I can still get them. I can kind of wedge it, and it's a really easy selector switch to wedge actually and get out of phase. But I don't really do that very much. It's not really a tone. Position 2 and 4 isn't really tones I particularly like very much, to be fair with you. So I'll just kind of leave it. I prefer the three ways, definitely. I love a three-way selector. So yeah, what else can we show you? And that's about it for the front. So let's flip over. Quickly, actually, before I get to the back of the Oswald Strat, let me show you this quick. You can kind of see it here. These are all plectrum scratches, but if I go into the light, it really starts to show up how much plectrum wear is on this guitar. You can kind of see in the reflection of the window, there's a lot. It's, like I say, I've played this guitar every day since I've got it. I actually can't think of a day where I didn't touch this guitar at least once. So you can kind of see that's all plectrum wear, just eating away at the finish, and they say it's starting to go through now. So yeah, let me turn it over, show you the back now. Okie dokie, so here's the back of the Oswald Strat, and there's my camera, and there's me! Hello everybody! Hi! Okay, so yep, starting with the back plate. It's got a few scuffs and scratches on it, as you'd kind of expect. Serial number there, 62016. You've also got some checking lines. I don't know if you can kind of see them there coming out from the neck plate, especially there on that one. You can really see the neck plate checking there. There's the neck. You can see the extent of the finish takeoff there as well. Brought it down into the D shape. I had my friend James help me take the finish down because I'm not particularly brilliant at that kind of thing, and I don't want to ruin anything. So he helped me out doing that, and he just made it a lot more neat than I could, and I just kind of finished it off, so to say, to personal specs. So yeah, so that's the neck plate. What else have we got here? Tremolo cavity is starting to show some wear, as you can see. The paint's starting to kind of chip in and out and whatnot. This is my preferred spring setup in a Strat. Yeah, this is definitely kind of a way I prefer to set my Strat tremolos up, just because I've had a few people ask me how I do it. But I have 3 springs kind of parallel to each other. As I miss out basically, the 2 and the 4 there, and I always check if I can get my little finger between the claw and this side of the pickup, the tremolo cavity, then it's in the right place, so to say. If I can't get my little finger in there, then it's either in too tight or it's not in tight enough. So, and this is the tremolo block. Yeah, the tremolo on this guitar is just awesome. And as I say, you can see it's rather dusty in the back here. It does get clean, but it gets very dusty very quick. So, moving on now to more wear and tear. Let me see if I can show you some of the checking on. Excuse me, some of the. Okay, so there's more checking lines around here. You can see. I never have back plates on guitars. I just don't like back plates. I actually think they hinder the guitar sound. I don't know, that could be me being really neurotic, but I do feel like a back plate, when it's removed, I think the guitar seems to be louder. I don't know, that could be me being weird, but I've always found guitars without back plates to be louder. And you can see more checking lines here in the wood. I've got this really cool eye in the ash. The body's swamp ash, and you can see it's got this really cool kind of like eye in the wood there. I really like that. It's got this really cool checking line here. I don't know if you'll be able to see it. It's kind of like a curve. You can kind of see it. Looks like a hairline crack that goes up like that. Now if I turn it into the light, you'll be able to see it. Yeah, there it is. And so most of this checking, in all fairness, happened maybe about 2 or 3 weeks into owning the guitar. Being winter, and I was taking it everywhere I went. It exposed to cold, hot all the time. So yeah, he started to check fairly quickly. Got some more wear up on this top end here. Got some really kind of like dints and dents and stuff. You can see, and I say nitrocellulose dents so easy. It's so soft as a finish. It just wears through so quick. You can see the join in the wood there between the pieces. It's really, really cool. Let me show you some of the wear on the sides quick before we get to the, one of my favourite bits of wear on this guitar. Okay, on the top half of the guitar, you've got your usual dints and dents. I think some of these are me counting things with my plectrum, I think, because I tend to kind of like tap the top of the guitar when I'm kind of like, if I'm not playing, I tend to kind of like do this kind of weird nervous tapping thing with the guitar. And I say, because the finish is so soft, it just goes straight through. So that's the top. Got some good ones on the bottom here. Let me just see if I can put it up there. You can kind of see around the bottom here, we've got some more bits missing, some chips and whatnot. And as you say, you can see all the scuffs and stuff. It's really scuffed up on the bottom. So this is just from putting it in guitar stands and leaning it against amps and stuff like that. And I don't know when that one happened. That one is absolutely gouged in there, that one. And I say it's just mostly just kind of like wear and tear, really. And I say I've got some more up here. This one is incredible. I don't know when this happened, but this one is mad. This happened again at the last gig of the year last year. When I got the guitar out the next day to clean it up and make sure it's all like nice and clean again. I looked at the bottom bit, and there was this massive scrape. And I have no idea where it came from. I have no idea how it got there, but it's definitely from a gig. You can see all the scratches in there. So whatever it was, hit it pretty heavy and scratched it pretty good. So yeah, so that's that. Let me show you my favourite bit of wear though now. Okie dokie, moving from the tremolo cavity and the bottom of the guitar, there's a few more dints and dents on that lower bit there, a few more dints and dents. But my favourite bit of wear is the buckle rash. It just looks like somebody smashed a mirror. It's really cool, and you can see it's starting to wear through to the wood. You can kind of see in the shine of the finish where it's kind of like around there and here. It's starting to go through to the wood, and it really does look like somebody smashed a mirror. Let me see if I can get a bit. Yeah, here we go. So you can kind of see this is just from my belt buckle. It's just like starting to like it's. I can only refer to it as like a smashed mirror. It's bizarre. It's quite strange in its own kind of way, but I love it. It just looks really cool, and it's really starting to take on its own little character, this guitar, and I really, really like that. And I say the nitrocellulose thing is so cool. It really is. To have a guitar in nitrocellulose, and I say there's more scratches down here. And I say for all the people who say, oh, you need to play, your guitar for 10 years and it'll look like you want it. Don't go out and buy a relic and don't relic your guitars and this, that, and the other. It's like I've had this guitar for a year, and it's starting to look really worn in and really played in, because it's nitrocellulose. If you've got a polyurethane finished guitar, it will not wear this way. It will chip and it won't wear this way. I've had my white Strat since 2004, and it looks nowhere near this. And in all fairness, the Oswald Strat looks more worn in than my white Strat. So, you know, you can't play a polyurethane finished guitar and expect it kind of wear the same way as this does. You can't, you know, you can't get kind of the kind of like the chips and the wear and the plectrum scratches like you can on a nitrocellulose. You don't go through the finish on polyurethane. Nitrocellulose just gives. So yeah, I mean that's one of the reasons why nitrocellulose is so cool, and these old guitars look so cool, is they wear differently to new guitars. Polyurethane doesn't wear, it just chips, and nitrocellulose wears. It's just really cool. Yeah. So yeah, that's the Oswald Strat, everybody. A year on. I do hope you enjoyed this close-up. Let's go and plug it in, shall we? Quickly before we do go plug it in, yeah, I just want to expand on what I just said about that whole kind of relicking thing, because I get that quite a lot on my How to Relic a Guitar video. A lot of people comment very negatively about, like, you know, well, you shouldn't do this, you should just buy a guitar brand new and go out and play it for 10 years, and you know, it'll start to look, you know, it'll start to take on its own character and it'll wear. But if you're buying a polyurethane guitar, it won't wear like this. It will, you know, your plectrum scratches won't appear like that, and you know, you won't get dints and dents, and it won't check, and your finishing won't check, and this, that, and the other. It'll just chip or remain quite pristine. I say, like my white Strat, for instance. Let me just grab it quick. I say my white Strat, for instance, I've had this since 2004, and again, I've played this more than I've played any guitar I own, and it's only got that chip, and a chip on the back, and discoloration, and cracks in the scratch plate to show that. In all fairness, I think the Oswald Strat looks more played and worn in than my white Strat. So for all people who say, oh, you just need to go and buy a new guitar and you know, play it for 10 years and it'll look like the old guitars, it won't, especially if it's got a polyurethane finish. If it's got nitrocellulose, yeah, definitely. And I can't wait to see what this guitar looks like in 9 years. It will be very interesting to see. It'll be very, very interesting to see, and it'll be really, really cool. But if you've got a polyurethane guitar, it won't do this. It will not do this. So, you know, for all the people who are anti-relicking, that's cool. I ain't got a problem with people who've been anti-relicking. But when people say, oh, you need to go out there and play your guitar, regardless of its finished for 10 years and it'll start to wear, no, it won't. Polyurethane doesn't wear. It just chips. So, you know, I don't know. I don't see the big stigma about relicking, to be honest with you. If you don't like it, fine. You don't need to tell everybody else that that they're doing something wrong if they don't like relicking. If they do like relicking. If you don't like it, fine, but don't tell other people it's wrong, because it's not wrong. You know, if you like your guitars pristine, fine. You know, you know, we're all individual. We all like individual things, and if you want your guitar to look like it's been played in for 50 years, then, you know, that's cool. There's nothing wrong with that at all. And I don't like people who try and force their opinions on relicking is bad on people. It really, really gets my goat, because it's not fair to force your opinion on other people. You know, people like what they like, and if you don't like what they like, that's not, it's not really an issue. It's only an issue to you if you take it that way. Anyway, but like I say, yeah, polyurethane doesn't wear, nitrocellulose does, and it really adds cool character to a guitar. And I say it just starts to show where you play the guitar most. Like I say, with the plectrum wear on the Oswald here, it really does show where my plectrum strums hardest and most, kind of, so to say. And they say it's all scratched on the scratch plate all up here is kind of like a satin finish as well, and they say the neck pickup's got scratches on it, and it's really cool. And I wish this guitar was like that as well, because like I said when I did the close of this video, I'm pretty sure there wouldn't be any finish left here by now. It would have all gone. I mean, the scratches on this guitar, and it's just huge. There's the section there, and around here it's just absolutely scratched out. But again, because it's polyurethane, it doesn't wear through. Because it's a plastic and it's a really hard plastic, it will not wear through. It'll just chip off, and it'll never look like this. So yeah, I mean, yeah, be that for what it is. Let's go and plug it in. Let's make some noise, and there might be a bonus thing at the end of this video. Fingers crossed, but don't quote me, as I don't know if I can get it sorted yet. But anyway, yes, let's go and plug it in, make some noise.